Hello everyone, welcome to iRacing E Series live here tonight for race number 17 from the Talladega Super Speedway using the NASCAR Xfinity cars here tonight on the service. The very first chase race of 4 here for the iRacing E Series. This is the 20 races in total, so this is race number 1 out of 4 for the chase. As these guys are currently out on the track qualifying, as you can see right now. I'm going to throw up the top 5 running order right now for qualifying as we get into it, as well as show you guys quickly here the chase drivers we're looking for tonight. So your round of 16 Taz Racing Customs, round of 16 for drivers and racers here tonight. You see Cruisin is junior. He has 1,040 points, so he's currently the points leader. Ryan Worley in second with 1,020. And the drivers who got 1 win during the regular season, 1,010 for Jason Papp, Brandon Wilson, Chris Etcheper, Harry Kahn in the 33 machine, Jeffrey McConey, Greg McConey, Jeffrey Price, Taz Kessler in the 01. All those drivers with 1,010 points. And then the drivers we've made it in on points: Bobby Hash, Eric Reinhardt, Russ Nash, Brian Buzard, Scott Leitner, and Will Varnum are actually apparently putting his way in by 2 points. So remarkable comeback for him after missing most of the season. But Will Varnum in that 37 machine, another one of your 16 chase drivers to kick things off here tonight and try to hope to have a good night, of course, make it on to the next round as we are looking forward to the drop of the green flag. But right now, we still have a little over a minute left in qualifying for these guys. Stacy Bedard currently on the pole. There's Nolan Murphy in the 86 machine, making his first career start here tonight. And it looks like almost everybody's turned their time. Got the 90 on track here. That being Nicholas Wynn in that 90 machine. He's actually running an apron here at Talladega. It's interesting line. I didn't really think you would run the apron that much.
You're cheating. Yep.
I didn't really think, honestly, the apron was fast here at Talladega. Not, my experience at least, has been fast, but I guess some of these guys think that's faster than the racetrack is currently. You got some really close times, actually. Stacy Bedard on the pole right now, but Rusty Johnson and Ryan Worley tied for that second spot pretty much, but it's down to the 10/1000ths of a second. And I guess that spot goes to Wesley Johnson, but 4 thousandths of a second behind your pole sitter. It's pretty close for your top few qualifiers there, as we're going to take that off of, oh, excuse me, actually, I forgot to get the back, so my apologies for that, but take that off of the screen, as we're going to go into the starting grid here. But before we do that, we're going to give a quick shout out to some of the sponsors here, as it's been a pretty chaotic thing here. So the LCTV official partner, Smoky Schemes, the official paint scheme designer for LCTV. Make sure you contact Ryan Worley, who's actually racing in this race. If you want a paint scheme, he makes great paint schemes, absolutely fantastic paint schemes. Love the colors and designs, are very creative. Make sure you check out Smoky Schemes, and we appreciate their support here. And then for the iRacing E Series official partners as well, Express Auto Salon, Salon, along with DCH Crane, and a couple of new sponsors as well. Bottled Up with Jeffrey McConey, and Taz Racing Customs, all official partners of the iRacing E Series. Make sure you check them out. Sure, you can probably go to the iRacingEseries.com and probably click on their links and whatnot there if you want to get more information on those. There you actually see Ryan Worley running our Smoky Schemes paint scheme. But we're taking it out through the LCTV starting grid here for tonight's action. So Stacy Bedard, as I mentioned, on the pole there with a 53.208. Wesley Johnson qualifying second in that 24 entry, only 4 thousandths of a second slower. He's going to start off in second. And then tying with him, actually, or at least down to the 10/1000ths of a second, is Ryan Worley. He's going to start off in third. One of your chase drivers will run number 2, his outside teammates there in row number 2. Number 3 here tonight, Billy Stanley in the 4 machine, and Brendan Dennis in the 95, and roll off in 6th place. Ricky Easton in 7th, and Jason Pop rounds out your round. Your row 4. Row number 5 here tonight, Timothy Bopp in the 777, and Bobby Hash, chase drivers as well, running out your top 10 for starters tonight. Eric Reinhardt in 11th, with Nicholas Wynn in 12th. And then you have Scott Leitner and Nolan Murphy in row number 7. And that actually does it for qualifiers here tonight. It looks like Russ Nash Taylor Kahn, Anthony Alfredo, Cruz Dennis Jr., Jeffrey McConey, Zach Borman, Chris Edgepair, Greg McConey, Jeffrey Price, Diogo Vasquez, Taz Kessler, Brandon Wilson, all opting not to take a qualifying time. So it's a pretty large number of your field actually deciding not to qualify. And it's 26 drivers in your field tonight, and about the last half of them did not qualify. And a lot of those guys are your chase drivers, such as the 33, the 6, the 8, 76, the 38, the 12. So I believe the 80 maybe. I think actually I missed the chase unfortunately, but that is your chase. A lot of your chase drivers. So I'm going to throw it up on the screen here once again really quickly before we take the green flag here. Look at your chase list. Cruz Dennis Jr., Ryan Worley, Jason Papp, Brandon Wilson, Chris Edgepair, Taylor Kahn, Jeffrey McConey, Greg McConey, Jeffrey Price, Taz Kessler, Bobby Hash, Eric Reinhardt, Russ Nash, Brian Broussard, Scott Liner, and Will Vernommer. That is your list of chase drivers. So as we get set here to look at the track information here of Talladega Super Speedway. 2.65 miles, track temperature 75 degrees, looking at Lincoln, Alabama. And look at the track weather for tonight's action: 66-degree air temperature in Fahrenheit. Wind direction to the west, which is only at 1 mile an hour, so nothing really much there. And 1% humidity, 0% fog, and clear and sunny skies for racing here from Talladega. And it's in the afternoon, so no worries at all about having to deal with a transition tonight, so that's obviously a good thing, as we are going to get set for the drop of the green flag for the very first chase race here, in the iRacing series. As they roll off of turn number 4, the iRacing.com official Ford Mustang pace car making its way down onto the safety of pit lane, as Stacey Bedard lead the field to the drop of the green flag, as we got a long wait to that, however. As I gotta go all the way through the travel at the slow 65 mile an hour pace car speed, if I can say that correctly, as that Penske truck lending Ford Mustang lead field to the green flag. Green flag waves. We're underway here from Talladega, very first race of the chase, and a couple of non-chase drivers leading the field off here, as the 24 did not have his teammate, the 95, behind him pushing him, so it's going to give the inside lane a huge momentum. There's already some contact, looks like, there between potentially the 1 and the 95, or I couldn't tell exactly who that was with, unfortunately, but get the 95 and the 24 machines now hooked up together on the outside lane with one on Jason Papp right there behind him. So a couple of non-chasers up on that top side, but definitely not afraid to get up here, mix it up, and try to get the race winner tonight, as they have the leader actually is not a chase driver either. However, I got a couple of teammates behind him there, the 26 and the 37. They're both chase drivers, as 4 is a chase driver. So we got quite a few chase drivers as well in the mix of things up here, but a good majority of them actually did not qualify, so opting to stay in the back. Remember, these guys only do have one fast pair. However, to lead the very first lap, that will be Wesley Johnson, and he pushed by his teammate Brendan Dennis, so he'll lead the first lap of tonight's race, as they're still side by side for the race lead. However, 28 still trying to put up a fight onto the inside. Oh, it gets turned though with a 95, and a caution flag already comes out. That's going to take out pretty much the entire field of Cody Trudeau-Cote upside down in the back straightaway. And you're going to hit again, looks like, by the 30 of Bobby Hash, and more drivers getting involved. It looks like Anthony Alfredo into the inside wall. Lap 2, big one, and it's going to take out majority of the field, and I'm sure everybody who decided not to qualify, especially the chase drivers, are definitely glad they didn't, but that's what happens when you get a bumper hook. When we're battling for the race lead, it's going to pretty much take out the majority of your field, and already have to force guys into their first fastest pair and only fastest pair here tonight, which is very unfortunate. Of course, lap 2 already having those issues. We're going to take a look back, and we already know pretty much what caused it, but we're going to take a look back at it. And that was, unfortunately, teammates working together in the outside lane, which started the whole thing. Just a classic bumper hook. You see that all the time in these Xfinity cars. As that, we're going to take a look back at that right here. And as you can tell, he's at 95, Brendan Dennis pushing his teammate Wesley Johnson on the outside lane, and unfortunately just gets in the left rear corner panel of him and hooks him around. That's all it took right there in turn number 2. Down into the leader, the 28 machine, and then the 26, Ryan really has nowhere to go. He gets involved. The 28 comes back up the racetrack, tags the 1 of Jason Papp. The 4 of Cody Trudeau nowhere to go. He T-bones him into the outside wall. The 90 gets a big piece of it. The 45 gets some damage. The 4 flips over the back straightaway. The 28 gets picked up in the air. Timothy Papp is destroyed. Many drivers get involved. Then you see, looks like Brendan Wilson actually killing the cone right there. But a lot of drivers involved on the very first big one already here. As we're going to take a look now from on board with the 24 of Leslie Johnson, as he went for a heck of a ride here. On board with the 24 of Leslie Johnson, who is currently in the race lead, actually. And just gets turned on the racetrack, nothing he can do, of course. And he's along for the ride at this point. Gets turned around into the pack. And you see he's getting turned sideways pretty much. And then he's facing backwards, spins it back around. It looks like he does not get hit as of right now. It looks like, yeah, nobody managed to avoid him. But unfortunately, I can't say the same about quite a few other drivers. As we're right on board now with the 86 machine of Nolan Murphy. As he got a pretty good view of this being towards the back of the pack. You see the wreck start to happen right there, and he's on the brakes, on the brakes, on the brakes. There's at the bottom, you see the carnage, and he just squeaks by all the wrecking cars. So great job, Nolan Murphy, to avoid that accident. Again, making his first start tonight. And I'm going to go on board now with the 54 machine of Anthony Alfredo, as he got caught up in this late. And you're going to see the wreck start up ahead of him, and he's having some connection issues, it looks like. As he gets on the brakes, slows it down, hits the middle of the track, and it looks like it's all clear to go. So he starts going. Actually, the 4 comes down the racetrack and straight into him. And he's going to hit the inside of the wall very hard. It's going to pretty much require our faster pair here, unfortunately for him. So not a good start at all to this race, or his first career start as well. As we're on board now with the 38 of Chris Echeper, as he had a pretty good view of this as well, being towards the back of the pack. You see the wreck start to happen. He's right behind 501 machine, so he can't really see much, and he gets on the brakes really late, and there's just smoke everywhere. He barely misses the 24. Rusty Johnson misses the 4 as well. Great job by Chris Echeper. Kind of just drove through the smoke and made it through. So great job by him. As we're going to take a look from the eye in the sky here at all the carnage. We're going to go on, excuse me, that's actually not Cody Trudeau. That's actually Billy Stanley in that number 4 machine, so my apologies for that. I'm used to the Cody Trudeau being that 4, so my apologies for that. But see, he went for a heck of a ride, spun all the way around, and then he got it faced back the right direction, but then Bobby Hash came in there and hit him, and he wasn't expecting it. So he's on the gas still, and unfortunately that involves Anthony Alfredo, and his engine actually blows. So Billy Stanley going to have to take, oh no, actually, I guess it's still running, so it's probably going to have to tow, but definitely going to have to require a faster pair. As I'm not sure if Cody Trudeau is actually in this race. No, he is not. So I believe that is one of your chase drivers, if I remember correctly. Take a look here at the chase drivers. Cody Trudeau. No, he's actually not on the list. Never mind. My apologies for that. It looks like we're going to get the 1 to go signal this time by. Pistol lights are out. And we're going to go back to the green flag for the first restart of the night. And it's going to be on lap number 5. So as we cross the finish line, final laps will be completed. As it's a Smoky Mountain Racing front row with 26 and the 37 right there, respectively, on the front row. Teammates working together to go through the field here. Look at the drivers who decided to use the fastball. Looks like the majority of them did. Obviously, being early on in the race, it's going to be risky. As Zach Borman right there in that 10 machine. So some guys actually heading off of pit road. It looks like if I were 1, maybe, can't tell. So it looks like, well, excuse me, Ryan Worley actually decided to stay out. I'm guessing with the 37 and a bunch of others, but he decided to stay out even though he got some damage on that 26 machine. Nothing too serious. I wouldn't exactly suggest leading the pack with it, but I guess it's not absolutely serious. It's a lot of front damage when he got in the back of the 28 or or he got inside the 24, whatever exactly happened there. The 45 with a little bit of damage, but nothing too serious there. So we're going to see how this works out for all these guys with the damage who decide to sail at the 26 with like the 45. A couple of these guys with some damage on their race cars. Looks like everybody else in the back of the pack either missed it or decided to take a fast spare. So it's going to be interesting to see who has a fast spare left and who does not, and where the chase drivers are and how that all sorts out. But so far, so good here for the guys towards the front of the pack. The guys, you know, they're making that wreck, of course. You want to see your teammates, especially, but you don't want to see your competitors get involved in trouble. But if you're in this chase, you know, you gotta have some of that luck on your side. You gotta try to hope for that every now and then, of course. So a lot of chase drivers, they get involved, like Jason Papp, and others got involved in that. Had to use a fast spare, so it's gonna be interesting to see who has a fast spare left and who does not, as far as chase drivers goes, and if anybody can, not in the chase, can shake things up and seal the victory here tonight. But the green flag gonna wait for the first restart as Ryan really on the gas. It looks like his teammate right there gonna maybe try to fall in behind him if he gets clear. Getting pushed by Timothy Papp. He's actually looks like he may go to the run, get a run to the outside and try to take the race lead away. Remember, he stuck his way into the chase last second, so he's also part of the chase. In fact, all of Smoky Mountain Racing is in the chase. All three cars, 26, the 37, and the 14. As the 45, Rick Geeson now behind at that 26. It looks like the 37 is going to get a bigger push by the 777. They're actually going to both clear the inside lane as Timothy Papp almost turns. Will run him right there. And luckily, they all managed to save it. So great job, everybody there to save it. As that kind of checked up the whole inside lane now. Here comes Scott Leitner getting pushed by Diego Vasquez and Taylor Khan. Now up on this outside lane. Scott Leitner is going to get the race leading to drop down low in front of that inside lane, which is still trying to get formed back up. But Scott Leitner is going to lead that lap. And these guys are getting pretty aggressive for how early on in the race it is, especially being the chase. I didn't think we would see really much aggressiveness. In fact, a lot of chase drivers didn't even qualify for this race, but we've seen already a bumper hook, and we almost saw another one right there going into turn number 3. So some aggression out of these drivers. Are sure he's right on board now with the 33 of Taylor Khan. As you see Stacy Bedard right there pushing Diego Vasquez, on the outside lane up there. And you gotta be very careful with these Xfinity cars because from inside the car, it can very easily look like you're not pushing the guy in front of you. And if you're making a little bit of light contact, you don't get a 0x. You really sometimes have no idea you're pushing the car in front of you, and it's so easy just to hit the bumper on or get in the corner panel and hook around like we saw on that lap 2 crash. So these guys got to be careful of the rest of this race to make sure that does not happen again, of course. And so far, so good on this run, at least. They've been at 2 laps so far. As you see, the outside lane get a huge, get a huge run right there as Vasquez gonna get pushed to the race lead. So we got a couple of non-chase drivers at the front of the pack. 28 Machine's actually going to duck out and go to the high side and fall behind his pack along with Diego Vasquez. So interesting strategies because these guys maybe just want to go to the front and see if they had cars capable to get to the front of the pack and then decide to drop out. Or what exactly is happening there. These guys, I know the 28 had to use a fast burn to that last crash. I do not think the 80 didn't have to, though. So interesting strategies, but we'll see how it all plays out, of course, as this race goes on. Still 65 laps in this race in total. So we got about 55 or so, 57 technically to go here. There's got a lot of notable people here, and I got pretty much, there you see all of McConey Motorsports right there. You have the 01 of Taz Kessler, the 12 of Greg McConey, the 10 of Zach Borman, and then you have Jeffrey McConey, then you have Anthony Alfredo somewhere in towards the back of the pack there. He's lost the draft, unfortunately, so looks like he is going to pretty much hope for another caution here. I'm not sure if he had a tow from that crash or why he lost the draft. He decided to back out of it, but he's actually out of the pack and is pretty much in need of a caution and try to get back up, caught back up the back of the pack, but luckily, of course, his first career start, not in the chase, so necessary need there. As you see this outside lane form back up here to go Vasquez and Stacy Bedard working back together. Remember, they were on the inside lane in the race lead. They actually just kind of went to the high side and fell back a little bit, but I guess they decided maybe charge back up to the front. Not sure if they thought they were going to wreck, as you see Chris Hutchfield right there throw a block and Taylor Khan, or trying to get in front of him at least, but the 33 just decides better of it, and just him goes to the low side and is going to take that third spot away, as now the 38 is going to slot into fourth place right there as we're complete. Lap number 10 this time by. We got 55 laps to go. I'm going to go through the family drivers. Here's Diego Vasquez in the front of the pack there. Stacey Bidar right there. Taylor Khan, Chris Edgepair, Scott Leitner. These three guys are chase drivers. You got about the race lead now as 80 goes to the high side again there for some reason. So he's going to drop with that high side. Actually going to get taken 3 wide now. He's going to fall to the back of this pack, it looks like. Not even by, kind of by choice. I'm not quite sure. Why the 28 and the 80 keep going to the top of the racetrack right there. I'm not really sure what the strategy is there, but they're doing something for sure, and we'll see if it works out for them. As the 33 Taylor Khan going to push the 28 through the race lead, but this outside lane getting formed up here. The 38, Jason Papp, got Zach Borman, Chris Hutchfield, all these guys up in this top lane, and you got Nolan Murphy making his first career start right there in the 86. Vasquez just kind of dropped back there. So it's interesting. Zach Borman's actually gone up here in this pack, in this lead pack, as his teammates have either lost the draft or kind of fallen back. But we're 3 wide now for the race lead. Taylor Khan gonna take that 3 wide through the middle. And now Jason Papp going to try to follow that spot, even though 33 backed out of it. But one's going to get the side draft for both lanes pretty much, and is going to try to get a run on these guys to try to challenge for the race lead, of course. And it looks like we have a lap car up ahead that is potentially 54. It is of Anthony Alfredo, so he can go a lap down. I'm not quite sure why he's that slow, unless he just want to get out of the way. But Taylor Khan is side by side now with Jason Papp for the race lead. Down the front straightaway they go, and across the start-finish line, looks like the one will lead this lap around. And indeed he will. So you see the 28 right there behind him. Now Chris Edgeberg trying to make a 3 wide on the outside, but by himself, he's not going to really do much with that, unfortunately. And so it's pretty much a double file now for the race lead. As they come off of turn number 4 here now, it looks like Zach Borman is going to ditch Jason Papp and pretty much abandon the outside lane, as Chris Edgeberg is going to try to pick him up here, but actually, he's going to go 3 wide to the outside by himself, though. Not going to really work. Stacey Bidar decides to go up there in front of him, but it's a bit of a gap, so it's not going to get formed up quite yet. Stacey actually go all the way to the top of the racetrack. He looks like he's going to try to drop to the back of this pack here again without a fast spare after that lap 2 wreck he was involved in. So he's just going to drop to the back and try to sit it out and wait until we get towards the end of the race. As it is getting pretty aggressive at the front of the pack here. 4 wide behind him. As we'll run over ducks the apron there to avoid any contact. As it looks like Timothy Papp and the 777, is going to back out of that as well. And Nolan Murphy now has gone behind Stacey Bedard, but Stacey is just dropped back this pack right now. As you see, Nolan Murphy actually on the outside wall right there, but cruising in his junior coming up through the pack here. Not sure if he's still kind of just patient, waiting in the back. He actually did not. He's one of those chase drivers who did not qualify, so he could just be kind of waiting out. In the lead pack, of course, so he doesn't lose the draft in case we have a long run, but he doesn't want to be up in full on racing and get caught up in a crash or something like that. So he's kind of just waiting out back there. As this time by, we're 50 laps to go. As we're right on board now with that 10 entry, Zach Borman. Currently pushing the 33 machine of Taylor Khan, one of the chase drivers, as they battle that one of Timothy Papp and the 38 of Chris Edgepair on the outside. This time by looks like the 33 is going to lead the lap. Actually, maybe they're the one leading that lap. Never mind. We pretty much just hear it pretty much flat out. as we're actually going to go on board with the 66 Scott Lightner. Look at a gyro cam here. You see this carrying our gyro cam. Around the corner, look at the banking here at Talladega. So crazy. If this car was at a complete stop, it would slide down the banking. That's how much banking there is. It's about 35 degrees of banking, I believe. Unfortunately, my apologies, I don't know the exact number, but definitely a lot of banking. Even the travel is quite a bit of banking. The straightaways are still banked a little bit. Obviously, not as much as the corners. You can see the amount in the corners here. He's actually lifting, kind of just playing it nice and calm. As you see, the pack behind him will be doing the same thing now. As you have Billy Stanley pinching the outside lane, actually. They're not 3 wide. I thought they were. Zach Borman going to slide up in front of that one of Timothy Pop out from behind the 33 and try to get that spawn away. As Screws and Juniors 3 wide up in the top lane. He's going to fall back in line behind Chris Etchepair as we complete lap number 17. Still out of 65 is... it gets a little bit tricky. Do you drop to the bottom or the guy behind him really going to follow? Yes, he does. So, Chris Etchepair, Jason Papp, all those guys on the outside going to follow. But now, Chris Etchepair and Cruz Jr. are going to try to work together. And Jason Papp, some teammates working together here. They get around with the 10 machine, basically going to ditch him down the back straightaway now. And going into turn number 3, they're going to have a huge advantage over the rest of the pack. So, Dipstick Racing here, part of the 1, the 38, the 8, and the 501. So, all these guys in the chase working together. They're literally one quarter of the chase entry list. So, as Chris Etchepair, they're going to try to challenge his teammate Jason Papp for the race lead. Looks like he's going to try to get back in line behind him. I think he may have just gotten on a line to either get clean air to avoid turning him. As I got a 10 Zach Bourne right there, Taylor Khan, a couple of guys not teammates. So some of you having some connection issues there. Scott Lightner in that 66. So remember, some of these teams as well, a lot of these guys have almost their entire team, if not the entire team, in the chase. Like the 1, the 38, and the 8, the 501, their entire team is in the chase. The 26, the 37, and the 14, their entire team is in the chase. And then you have some guys like this team back here, McConey Motorsports. You got 4 of their drivers right here. Brock McConey, Taz Kessler, Jeffrey McConey, all in the chase. Zach Borman is not in the chase. He's at the front of the pack. And then Anthony Alfredo, 1 lap down. This is his first career start. He's also not in the chase. And then you have, there you see Brendan Wilson as part of the 37 right there. Russ Nash in this 6th entry. He's not a part of a team. These guys are teammates, however. 24, the 95, and the 90 all part of a team. Well, Jason Papp still holds on to the race leaders. We're going to complete lap number 20 this time by. Still single file at the front of the pack. Nobody willing to make a move right now. Might as well just stay in line and ride out some laps here. On board now with the 38 machine of Chris Etchepair. He's pushing his teammate Jason Papp right there into that 1 entry. These guys continue to first single file for now. Remember, this is chase race number 1. As no matter for the single file, there's got some guys making aggressive moves, getting pretty dicey at the front of the pack now. As the 8 Chris Jr. gonna get in front of Zach Borman right there. Yeah, Billy Stanley right there in front of the 28. Got the 26 as well. Diego Vasquez, Ryan Worley, Stacey Bedard up. All these guys in the outside lane trying to make an effort for the race lead. It was single file for a couple laps, but then they kind of got bored, I guess, and decided to jump out and try to make some moves. And he's going towards the top of the racetrack. That might just open up that middle lane for somebody like Billy Stanley who's looking for it. These guys got to be careful when they do that. Kind of moves go towards the top of the racetrack. It's very easy to pretty much, give that middle lane up, and it's going to let them take that middle lane away and make a run the race lead. But currently, Chris Jr. on the outside of a couple of teammates here, Chris Hutchipper and Jason Papp. As the outside is kind of dissipated, however, Diego Vasquez decided to drop out of that along with the 28 of Stacey Bedard. So it's pretty much Ryan Worley. Timothy Papp is up here towards the back. I got a second pack back here, pretty much just Baconi Motorsports working together along with Nolan Murphy and Brandon Wilson. I got a couple of guys actually, and then you got this team back here, kind of separated, but up front, still pretty. So pretty crazy, for sure, to say the least, as we're about to get 40 laps to go here in only 2 laps. So still a long ways up the race and not even close to halfway yet. And remember, these guys only do have one fast turn, and some of these guys, like Jason Papp, got involved in that very first crash. So he actually does not have a fast spur at this moment in time. So if he gets wrecked again, he's either have to deal with the damage or he's out of the race. One of the chase drivers came in with 10 bonus points for that win he got in the regular season. I believe he actually won the very first race of the season at Daytona, but it's interesting to see for sure. To see if he can make it the rest of the way. Of course, that's his goal, is to make the rest of the way and not get involved in a crash, of course. But it being Talladega, you never know what exactly could go wrong. And you don't usually have to cause it like the first crash he got involved in. So it looks like Chris Jr. now going to get pushed to the race leads. They're going to get clear. Drops down in front of his teammate there of Jason Papp. So now it's just the 2 cars on the outside of Zach Borman and Billy Stanley up there. The 10 and the 4 entries working together. As looks like that's about 8 for the outside lane. Everybody else has decided to drop back besides Timothy Papp back here in Diego Vasquez. As these guys are actually going to catch some lap cars to the 3 there. Bobby Hash, one of your chase drivers. Looks like they're going to catch him very shortly. As he's actually going to stay to the top side, so he's going to get out of harm's way here. He's right on board now with race leader Cruz Hernandez Jr. Look at back of the pack here. Or back at the pack. As we now get 40 laps to go, so still over... a little over 100 miles left to go here for racing, so no need to get too aggressive as of now. Of course, with that much time left, as you can see Bobby Hash staying high there, out of harm's way. Great job by him to get out of the way of the lead pack here. And remember, we had that crash on lap 2. We went back green on lap number 5 or 6 technically, and been green ever since. So we've actually got about 20 laps here on a green. In fact, that is 20 laps on the green on this run. I mean, you usually see this in the iRacing series as far as when plate tracks go. But the last few weeks, unfortunately, we've had a lot of new drivers, a lot of guys inexperienced in this league, or maybe especially inexperienced with plate racing and whatnot. So they're kind of, settling in now, getting used to these cars, used to these tracks that they've been racing, and used to the guys they're racing around. So I think that's definitely helped. And of course, with it being the very first chase race, everybody's, a little bit more cautious, I would say. Not quite as aggressive. No need to, especially for the guys in the chase at least, no need to tear up your car when you're fighting for a championship. So I think that's why you're seeing, of course, the lap 2 crash caused a couple of guys not even in the chase. So I think these chase drivers, the 16 chase drivers, are definitely paying cautious. And you have a lot of drivers who are teammates. Oh, we're going to wreck though in the front. That's going to be the 10 machine of Zach Borman. He's going to go around. Chris Jr. gets involved, and somehow They both managed to hang on to it and keep it onto the apron. No caution flag. Great job by both of those drivers. I was just mentioning how cautious these guys were. We are going to take a look back at that incident. Of course, they were able to keep it down the racetrack and out of harm's way. As you see, the 10 just get bumper hooked there by the 4 of Billy Stanley, it looks like. I can't quite tell if he... it looks like he was in front of the 4, and just like we saw earlier, a little bit further in the corner, the 4 hooks the 10 on the racetrack. He goes down across the nose to 8. He was pretty much in the race lead. And somehow, they both managed to hang on to it, keep it out of the grass, keep it onto the apron, and not get a caution, not wreck or anything. So, great driving by both of those guys and everybody else to avoid them. Unfortunately, it looks like that's going to cause them both the draft, or at least the 10 of Zach Borman, and of course, pretty tore up race cars now. And that's unfortunate, of course, but great job by both of those guys to hang on to the race cars. But again, a couple guys not in the chase, unfortunately involving one of the chase drivers, but a couple guys not in the chase being the ones who are being a little bit aggressive. Got the one there of Jason Papp. He did get a little bit damaged on the left front from hitting the back of the 10. But Billy Stanley making his first plate track start here in the series, hitting his first career start last week at Kansas. Making a second career start here tonight. It's unfortunately bumper hooking that 10 machine, but he was able to hang on to it at least, and no caution flag comes out as a result of it. But now the 4, Billy Stanley holds on to the race lead with Chris Etcheper getting pushed there by Taylor Kahn up on the outside lane. As it looks like Bobby Hash again damaged and a lap down, not able to really stick with these guys to try to help the outside lane. No, as Chris Etcheper does get cleared. Taylor Kahn thought about going down the racetrack, but got the 4 right there in his upper corner panel. And decided better of it. He's actually going to go to the top of the racetrack and back out of it, it looks like, as we're going to complete lap 30 here and get only 35 laps to go. And in about 2 laps, we'll be halfway through this race. So Chris Etcheper going to lead another lap here as the 30 going to try to challenge him for that spot, even though he's not on the lead lap. Basically, to try to get his lap back, as that is the goal for him right now. He's got the 33 right up there behind him now. As the 30 of Bobby Hash really trying to side draft here, using advantage of that. Of course, with that damage in the front end, he's not able to do much with that. As I believe Stanley glued to the rear bumper now of Chris Etcheper. Gotta be careful though, of course, not to get on that bumper and hook him around. Definitely don't want a repeat of that for sure. As like I mentioned earlier, it's really, really easy to do here at Talladega and Daytona, especially in these cars. I'm not quite sure what it is, but you just really don't feel like you're pushing the guy. And it's all it takes is to get on their bumper, not square enough in the corner, and you're hooking them around and causing a huge wreck like we saw in lap 2, or almost saw there a couple laps ago with the 10 machine. So, gotta be careful. As his lead pack's actually really kind of whittled down here because of that, I think, honestly. Got the 38, the 4 at the front of the pack here. You got Jason Papp right there behind him, Ryan Worley, Taylor Kahn. You got Scott Leitner, Eric Reinhardt, Bobby Hash, Diego Vasquez, and that is your lead pack for cars. He's almost contact in the back of the pack, though. Looks like the 12, the 01, got the 76, the 777 there of Timothy Pat, Cruz Jr. Remember, contact while leading. He's back here now. Anthony Alfredo, 1 lap down. Will run number in this pack. Stacy Bedard in this pack. Then you got this team back here, the 24, the 90, the 95, all working together. Wesley Johnson, Nicholas Wayne, and Brendan Dennis. All right there. Then you got the 10 machine, Zach Borman. Remember, he got turned there by the 4 and has a damage to the left side of his race car. Unfortunately, for him at least, the caution flag did not come out. He's now lost the draft and is just basically hoping for one. And Brandon Wilson has also lost the draft, one of your chase drivers. Jeffrey Price as well, one of your chase drivers, out of the draft. He's going to race car Russ Nash. Chase driver Nolan Murphy actually looks like he has just made a pit stop, so he's going to probably go a lap down here if he's not already. As through the travel we go, though, halfway now in this race, as it looks like Billy Stanley going to make a run to the outside on Chris Etcheper. But unfortunately for him, he does not have any cars behind him to try to help him with that draft. run aboard with the number 4 machine. And he's actually 1 lap down, I guess. So my apologies for that. I did not know he was actually 1 lap down. I guess maybe he had to tow one of that crash as well on lap 2 there. So he's actually currently a lap down. He was trying to fight to get his lap back is what he's basically trying to do at this point. Or at least race for the free pass, which is probably why we saw the 30 up here trying to race these guys, is because they're racing for the free pass. So currently, if the caution flag did wave and the 4 machine was not involved in the crash, he would be getting the free pass and he would go back onto the lead lap. But now he's kind of falling back here after he didn't get any help. But now Bobby Hash is actually going to pass him for that spot. So that is for that free pass spot, like I mentioned. So Bobby Hash now moves into the free pass position. If they didn't get involved with the caution flag came out right now. As they're still side by side for that spot, but the Ford does not have any drafting help. He's going to try to side draft as best as possible. They're doing a pretty good job at doing that. As there's the 86 and Old Murphy is going to drop to the apron there to get out of harm's way. As for some reason I have having some issues. There we go. So now you got Brendan Wilson and Jeffrey Price working together. They're pretty much trying to save themselves here. Zach Borman might pick him up, but he has a lot of damage. It's interesting to see how it works out for him. Anthony Alfredo looks like he's actually gotten some damage from something or other. He's having some connection issues as well, but he actually, remember, he's with his teammates Bacone Motorsports a lap down, but now he's just lost that draft. He's lost this pack ahead of him, so he's actually in pretty big damage going 2 laps down here. As Nolan Murphy's back on pit road, unfortunately, it looks like he's having some sort of issue there as well. He's back on to pit road. Russ Nash does a lot of front-end damage, so he's also out of the pack and about to go a lap down here, actually, pretty soon. So, unfortunate for him. After, I believe, a second-place finish last week from Talladega. So, my apologies, actually, last week was not Kansas. It was week before that was Kansas, so my apologies for that, but last week he actually came second or third. I don't quite remember which one, unfortunately. But he's going to go to the top of the racetrack to get out of harm's way. Go a lap down, unfortunately. But take a look at the race summary here so far, as we're a little bit past halfway. So far, I've had 36 laps completed, 29 laps to go. I've had 15 lead changes, only 1 caution flag. It says for 1 laps, but that's obviously not true. But only 1 caution flag so far, so hopefully we can stay a long way here under green. We've gone about 30 laps, actually, on this run after that lap 2 crash. So these guys are a little bit aggressive, but playing it smart is pretty much the goal. And as they're doing right now, it looks like Billy Stanley has actually gotten draft from Diego Vasquez. So that moves him back into the free pass position. Bobby Hash still racing him for that in this lead pack here. And I'm going to quickly look through this pack and see if there's anybody a lap down. Anybody else a lap down, excuse me. Does not look so. So, yeah, these guys are battling for the free pass position. Actually, Billy Stanley getting pushed by that 80 of Diego Vasquez is going to get pushed to ahead, track position-wise, at least first place. He's not going to drop down in front of the 38, a little bit surprisingly. But, again, he's not racing for the lead. He's racing for the free pass position with a 30 who's behind him. So, basically, however, if he does get ahead of the 38, or ahead of whoever's in the race lead when the caution flag does come out, he's going to basically just get, he's basically going to pass the whole field, or not pass the whole field, but go all around the racetrack and catch the tail in the lead as lead pack as he'll be in lead lap. As the 38 Bobby Hash is going to fall in behind those, the 80 going to drop back to the back of this pack once again. Doing that off and on. Looks like he's going to do it once again here. So now Bobby Hash maybe going to try to take him through wide or pull something here to get around this 4 to try to get into that free pass position. But basically, yeah, if the 4 or the 30 does get ahead of the race leader, the caution flag comes out, then they're going to catch the back tail end of the lead pack. Whoever else is, of course, out of this 2 will get their lap back from the free pass, and it's all going to be good to go. But Chris Eschberg is still in race lead here, holding on to this pack. Remember, he's a pretty good run here. One of your chase drivers being pushed there by his teammate Jason Papp. Remember, Billy Stanley, he is not in the chase, but that 30 of Bobby Hash is. So he's really in need of this caution and free pass if he can get it. But he's currently pushing a 4. Remember, if he pushes that 4 to the race, what is the race lead technically? What would be the race lead? If he does push him up ahead of the leader, basically, get him on lead lap, and the caution flag does come out, he's going to get himself a free pass. So this is good strategy. He's got some green flag pit stops coming down your way as Chris Etcheper, Jason Papp, and some of these other guys. Looks like Ryan Worley, Taylor Khan, Diego Vasquez, all going to head down pit road out of your leaders. And it looks like somebody else maybe, I don't think anybody else is going to follow. So some of your leaders heading down onto pit road. We're going to see, as it looks like Cruz Andes Jr., Will Runhammer, and Stacy Biddard are all coming off of pit road here with 25 laps to go. So some pit stops happening. Probably just going to be fuel only for most of these guys. Timothy Pop actually taking right side tires, it looks like. As all his teammates, everybody else has kind of left him, though. Looks like Chris Etcheper going to be the first one in, first one off. Taylor Khan off second. Ryan Worley off third. And then you have Diego Vasquez, Jason Pop. Now just coming off of pit road. It looks like Peconi Motorsports making their pit stop for potentially even 4 tires. I'm not quite sure. Zach Borman going to use a fast pair there. I got his teammate Anthony Alfredo following behind. So this is going to shake things up to see who took 2 tires, who took 4 tires, who took no tires. As the rest of Peconi Motorsports opts down onto pit road. It looks like I got some guys behind him as well. That team, I'm not quite sure what team they officially are, any team at all, actually. But they are going to make their way down onto pit road as well. The 24, the 90, and the 95. Looks like for them it's just going to be fuel only, so I think that's honestly the call you need to make. Fuel only. Tires aren't necessary. Oh no, right side tires for the 24. As they see the rest of Peconi Motorsports leaving their pit stops. Now it's up to the final couple leaders as Billy Stanley. Oh, caution flag is out. Caution flag is out here at Talladega. And I'm not quite sure what it's out for, but the middle of pit stops, the caution flag is going to come out here. So, middle of green flag pit stops, and I almost guarantee it's probably somebody who's pitting is what honestly caused that. Would not surprise me, to be fair. I'm trying to figure out when it came out exactly here. No, actually, it was just a 4-wide move here by, it looks like, Billy Stanley. You see there 3 wide. Billy Stanley goes down below the double yellow line, which is technically illegal to make it 4 wide. And then he comes up the racetrack into the 66. At the same time, the 30 is coming down the racetrack. So Bobby Hash, Scott Leitner, and Billy Stanley all make contact. The 30 gets turned up into the 7 and 10 of Eric Reinhardt. They make heavy contact. It gets down the racetrack into the 66 of Scott Leitner. He hooks him around and down the racetrack once again into him. So heavy damage to both those drivers, 2 of your chase drivers. And that was pulled by Billy Stanley, making it 4 wide illegally below the WO line. So a really bold move, and unfortunately it's going to cost a lot of drivers' positions as it came out during the pit stop cycle there. And we're on board now with the Ford machine of Billy Stanley to see that once again from on board with him. And I think as you look at it right here, maybe a little bit justified here, as you see the 66 Scott Leitner, he's going slow in front of these guys. I guess he was just catching the drive, so the 4 goes down below him. But yeah, you know, you can't put your left side tires there below the WO line, and he definitely did not have room to really make that move, unfortunately. As goes down below the WO line and it caused some contact, and you know, unfortunately a crash it looks like here. So interesting to see who decided to pit, who did not pit, and where everybody ends up as far as that cycle goes. I believe pretty much everybody did pit. So you see there's not really enough of a car length down there below Scott Leitner, and he's not below him. And, yeah, just, you can't put your left side tires down below the WO line unless you get forced down there. But, unfortunately, I don't think he was forced down there. And you see the 66 go up the racetrack to try to avoid him, and unfortunately just gets left for corner pin on Bobby Hash. Nothing he can do. He gets turned down into the 710 of Eric Reinhardt, and then he comes down the racetrack after hitting the acid wall, and actually net kill between him and the 66 turns him back at the racetrack, and going to take out those 3 or 4 cars. So Brett's second caution flag of the race. So you know the saying, cautions breed cautions. Well, that might just come true here tonight as Bobby Hash takes a faster pair, and it looks like your race leader is actually going to be, I don't think it's going to be Will Runhammer. He's actually a lap down. So Will Runhammer going to get a wave run along with Cruz Hernandez Jr. Russ Nash is 3 laps down, actually. So having a really rough night for one of the chase drivers, unfortunately. Scott Leitner looks like he's going to get a wave run. Zach Borman is going to get a wave run, most likely. Anthony Alfredo 3 laps down as well, unfortunately. Jeffrey Price going to get a wave run. Timothy Pat going to get a waiver run. Brandon Wilson. A lot of these guys get waiver runs, but your race leader is the 38 of Chris Echeverry. So he's actually, he was your race leader before that pit stop cycle began. So we're also going to see if we can't bring him into the broadcast booth here. Get Ward in with him. Chris Echeverry, I got me.
Yes, sir. I got a copy.
So, Chris, I believe at least you currently find yourself in the race lead here with a little over 20 laps to go from Talladega. Of course, being one of the chase drivers coming into this race with 10 bonus points, you're looking pretty good, obviously. Being on the race lead 11, 16, 17 laps so far here. Just talk about your strategy for this race and what your goal is here to try to get the victory at least, or try to have a good points day.
Yeah, I mean, my object for today is just keep my nose clean. I don't care if I win. I just want to get a good point, say, to advance the next round. That's mainly everyone's goal today. But for victory, just honestly, just be the first car past the line on the last lap. That's that's all it is.
Yeah, and of course, you know, obviously, as you mentioned, gotta try to play it safe, keep your nose clean. I know the lap 2 crash took a lot of drivers. Excuse me, I don't know off the top of my head who got involved and who did not for the full list. But do you still have your fast pair left in the banks there?
Yes, sir. I have my fast pair left. I have a 0x. I just been keep my nose clean the whole race, and it's at the right place at the right time.
Absolutely. We wish you the best of luck there, Chris, in your efforts to win the race, and we'll potentially talk to you after.
All right, man. Thank you.
That was the driver of the number 38 Leasing Chris Echeverry, your current race leader. As a lot of these guys, Brandon Willison, Timothy Pop, Jeffrey Price, Anthony Alfredo, Zach Borman, Russ Nash, and Will Runham are all taking waiver rounds here. And I'm not sure who the free pass car is. Cruz Hernandez Jr. has some issues down the apron. Remember, he was also, I believe, one of the waiver round cars. He's slow on the back straightaway for some odd reason. Taylor Khan's stopped in the front stretch. Or the back stretch, excuse me, as well. So I'm not quite sure what is going on with a couple of those drivers. But I am curious to see who got the free pass, because I know the 4 got involved in that, so he's not the free pass car. Unfortunately, I'm not quite sure who exactly that is. Looks like Cruz Hernandez Jr. is finally getting back going. So who's in 17th place? Scott Leitner, but he did not get the free pass either because he was involved in the crash. He actually had to use a fast spare because of that. So I'm not sure if anybody did really get the free pass at all, unless it was Cruz Hernandez Jr. who's now just flying around the field. I mean, it's definitely very interesting to figure out. And of course, we're going to look again at your list of chase drivers. As there is your list of drivers. Cruz Hernandez Jr. only has 40 points, having a pretty good points cushion coming in with 4 race wins the regular season. So he's having a good points cushion currently. Ryan Worley, Jason Pat, Brandon Wilson, Chris Echeverry, Taylor Khan, Jeffrey McConey, Greg McConey, Jeffrey Price, Taz Kessler, Bobby Hash, Eric Reinhardt, Russ Nash, Brian Buzard, Scott Leitner, and Will Runham are running a field of chase drivers. As we get the 1 to go signal this time by, and that's a little under 20 laps to go now, as a lot of these drivers are going to get their laps back. Let's see if we can't try to dial up the number 26 machine as well of Ryan Worley. Going to the broadcast booth. Ryan Worley, got a copy.
Yes, sir.
So Ryan currently finding himself in 3rd place here, and Got a couple of chase drivers in front of you there, and I believe pretty much surrounded by chase drivers for the most part. Towards the end of the race here, 20 laps to go. We had a long green flag run there, and some green flag pit stops for most of you guys. Do you feel like it's going to go green the rest of the way? Do you feel like the cautious breed cautions theme kind of comes into play here?
Oh, I see a lot of cautions coming up here. That's why I want to get up here in the front and try to stay up here, because if you get in front of cars, there's less cars to dodge.
Yeah, of course, being involved a little bit in that first crash, you have some nose damage. I can tell you definitely do not use your fast repair. So, are you going to try to stay that the rest of the race, obviously? And is that your goal, obviously, as a chase driver?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to finish really in the top 20. We probably got to finish further down than that. But as long as we get top 20, we're good to the next round. So, this kind of racing a more conservative race up here in the dodge. So, I think we're good to go here, and with the extra fast repair, we got a little cushion.
Alrighty, well, wish you best of luck here, Ryan, and we'll potentially talk to you after.
Yep, let's see if we can go put this Smoky Seams Mustang up in Victory Lane. That'd be nice to do.
Alright, wish you best of luck.
Thanks.
Got the 26 machine, Ryan C. Worley. Led 3 laps here so far. Currently started third and is currently in third, so no net gain there for him, but Chris Hutchper, Taylor Khan, and the rest of the field gonna come down to the green flag as the iRacing.com official 4 Mustang pace car pulls out off the racetrack for the 3rd time tonight. A little under 20 laps to go. How much will the intensity pick up for these chase drivers and non-chase drivers going for the win? It's gonna be pretty interesting for sure to see who goes where in this restart. And this little final run as Christopher through the tri-oval at 65 miles an hour. The green flag is going to wave. There is the green flag, and we're back racing here from Talladega with 19 laps to go. Chris Hutchper going to get pushed by Ryan Worley as Taylor Khan and Taz Kessler working together up on the outside lane. Got Jeff McConey up there behind him. And Greg McConey. So a couple of three straight McConey Motorsports teammates working together on the outside lane behind that 33. We're going to see what they do, but they're all teammates and all chase drivers. But the only chase driver up in the front of this pack are a couple of them at least, the 24, the 95, the 90, and the 80 as well. Oh, we got a caution flag already. That is out for the, looks like the 54 of Anthony Alfredo having some issues. Remember, he used a fast repairs, so he's out of fast repairs. As we'll take a look back and see what exactly caused that. And I guess the cautious speed cautions definitely is in case already here as we get the caution already. As it looks like Eric Reinhardt actually quit the race earlier, but it looks like we're trying to take a look here and see what exactly caused this. So you're going to see they get going the restart. Some guys don't get going, some guys do. Jeffrey Price passes a couple guys there along with Timothy Papp, and they go 3 wide as his inside lane checks up. And you see the 54 there, 3 wide in the middle. And we're going to see if we can't. Oh, Timothy Papp comes down the racetrack a little bit into him, and that's just enough to hook him up into the outside wall. He actually flips over onto his roof. He goes for a wild ride here in turns number 1 and 2. And unfortunately, I think that's going to pretty much take him out of the race here, as unfortunately as well, he also has some more connection issues. But we're going to go on board now with the 777 of Timothy Papp to take a look at that as well, as that's where the contact originated from. You see the inside lane just going really slow there. I guess there's some checkup on the restart, but I just don't think he knew that they were 3 wide. He goes down the racetrack, right down into the side of the 54, and hooks him straight to the racetrack. Nothing either one of them can do at that point. They're pretty much just along for the ride, and around and over goes 54 entry. As you see Russ Nash and others take it through the grass down there. Eric Reinhardt is currently actually on the lap still, at least got his lap back there, even though he did leave and come back. So interesting for sure there. As you look at Chris Hutchper, your current race leader, but we're going to take our first commercial break from tonight's action. We're right back for what might be the finish of the race, as we're going to be about a little under 15 laps to go. So may or may not be the last restart. My guess is probably not, but we'll have to wait and see. Come back from Talladega, chase race number 1 for the iRacing East Series, and back after these short messages.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Alfala is $10,500 richer. Two-time NASCAR is your dream. NASCAR iRacing. It's going to be Humpy winning the race, and it's going to be Conti taking away first. 2017 NASCAR Beginner Series Championship to Ryan Luza. Alfala is a four-time champion in NASCAR Beginner iRacing Series.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Coming for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
Welcome back here to iRacing Series, race number 1 of the chase, race number 17 of the season. However, at Talladega, as we're about to go back green here with under 15 laps to go. Green flag is waving. We're back on the way here once again for Talladega for what might be the final restart of the race. Chris Pair chooses the outside lane for the restart. Going to get pushed by his teammate Jason Papp to the race lead here in front of that 26 of Ryan Worley. Might just jump down in front of him. Indeed, he does, but the one not clear to go with him. Unfortunately, looks like the 38 is currently indecisive which lane he wants to go in, but he's going to stick with the inside. As got a lot of teammates up here. As 38 going to go in front of his team once again. Jason Papp on the outside lane. So kind of starting to block here a little bit. Remember, one of the chase drivers, however, he does have 10 bonus points from that win earlier in the season. 26 there. Ryan Worley has 20 bonus points. Everybody else either has 0, 10, or then you have the 8 machine with 40. But 3 wide for that 4th or 5th position, it looks like. As 90, unfortunately, all by himself. They're going to win without any drafty partner, and he's probably just going to drop back at this pack unless somebody decides to pick him up, which does not look like it's going to be the case. So, 13 laps to go now. There's a pair of side by side with his teammate there on Dipstick Racing in the 1. And they got McConey Motorsports working together. Jeffrey McConey, Greg McConey, Cruz Andes Jr., however, a part of that kind of separating that up. It's a 90 machine in the outside wall up there. And he's going to really drop the backpack now, but they're going to be 3 wide behind with some of these McConey Motorsports drivers. You might just see the 01 push that one up in front of the 76, and then jump up in front of the 76 himself with the 8 by, and they might just all fall in line behind. I think that's probably what's going to happen here. Would not be surprised to see that, as there you see Taz Kessler jump up in front of the 76 of Jeffrey McConey. There's McConey right there behind him. He's right on board now with Cruz Andes Jr. as they're 3 wide in the middle at Vega. One of the scariest positions to be in for sure. This is going to push his teammate here, Jason Papp, in that 1 at Monster Energy Chevrolet Camaro. So 3 wide in the middle here. Now it looks like he's going to get clear of the outside lane. Jeffrey Price, they're going to run up here in this pack as well. Oh, man. Cruz Andes Jr. thought about going to the outside lane right there, but decided better of it as he was not quite clear now. Then it's shaking up very drastically as the 1 trying to block as the 38 goes up in front of him. It's the teammates. Oh, the 30 gets turned. Chris Edgeberg goes around. That's going to take out your entire field. There they all go. 33 Terry Khan, Jeffrey McConey, the 95 of Brandon Dennis. Eric Reinhardt squeaks through in the grass. Looks like Billy Stanley makes it through the unscathed. Nolan Murphy as well. Scott Leitner looks like he actually missed that, but a lot of drivers did not. Jason Papp, Bobby Hash got a piece of that as well, quite a bit. Cruz Andes Jr. has a lot of damage. Well, remember, I guess skate through is actually not as many as I thought. Greg McConey has some front end damage, quite a bit actually, but nothing too severe. Chris Edgepair again, he does have a fast speed left, so he's going to definitely use that there. Taz Kessler, and I saw that the 38 kept trying to block Jeffrey Price, is all tore up. And he kept trying to block, and even though it's his teammates, I'm kind of surprised he was kind of do that to. Listen, still over 10 laps to go. It was just pretty much blocking gone wrong, which really, it was blocking, aggressive blocking, which caused the stack up, but then the one of Jason Papp just kind of accidentally bumper hooked him. Basically, so far, has been, it's the 3rd time it's happened tonight. And a cause of 2 cautions so far. So we're going to take a look back at that here on the OCTV replay, which, of course, still needs to be updated. But, look back at that. It was just pretty much, as we expect, 10 laps to go Talladega. First chase race, aggressiveness is picking up, and you see the 38 goes up the racetrack, and the ones just trying to follow him and trying to push him. And unfortunately, just turns him around. And what a great job, the 26 there of Ryan Worley to duck down low and avoid that. He got pretty lucky there for sure. He can get right rear, but then you see pretty much the rest of these guys getting hit around. And there you see the 28 of Stacy Biddard. Wow, my goodness, did he barely make it through that wreck. As you see Taz Kessler slide through the infield back up on the racetrack and barely got missed by Brendan Wilson. So a lot of guys had great misses and great saves for sure in that whole mess of things. He's going to run aboard now with Jason Papp in the 1 entry here. As you see, he's running a corner panel of, actually, that's what turned him up the racetrack. He got in the rear corner panel of Chris Hutchipper, and they got in the left rear corner panel, hooked him around down the racetrack, and then just, it's pretty much on from there. You see, he was able to get through for the most part, but everybody else behind, unfortunately, was not. I did right on board now with that 76 of Jeffrey McConey here. As you got a craziness ahead, all of a sudden there's a car around and you're in it, whether you like it or not. And he actually almost made it through, then they got hooked into the one, and wow, hard hit in the outside wall, and he goes pretty much flying back on the racetrack. He's going to run on board now with the 710 of Eric Reinhardt, as he had a great job missing this, going down onto the grass. See the whole wreck up happen up ahead of him. And he just kind of hits the brakes, slows it down, slows it down, slows it down. Goes in the grass a little bit, sees the car just coming down the racetrack. He just dips into the grass, barely misses. Jeff McConey almost hit the inside wall, but what a great job Eric Reinhardt there on his wreck avoidance job. So he's going to come out with an unscathed race car. We're on board now with the 4 of Billy Stanley, as this happened right in front of him. And I do not believe he got involved. Looks like he's actually out of the draft at this point. And he might just get a free pass as well, as I know he's one of those cars one lap down. And if he did not get involved in this, then he's pretty much good to go and set. Unfortunately, looks like he kind of like blinks out. Yeah, misses the whole accident. So good job by him to slow down in time to miss that. They're on board now with the 33 of Taylor Khan. So you got a big piece of this right there into the 38. Nowhere to go. Then he gets right reared here by the 76, and wow, what a hard hit there with a 76, 95, and others as he starts on the racetrack. And luckily, he's gonna have to use a fast spare anyway, and it looks like he did in fact use that fast spare, but back out with a clean race car. So now, after all that, the race leader turns out to be, it looks like, Rusty Johnson is actually your race leader here. As we have only 9 laps to go, we're still pacing into this caution flag. We're currently in second. We're going to see if we can get him to the broadcast booth. Unfortunately, 24 is not in the T-Speak. So I'm going to bring the 37 machine roll number into the broadcast booth here. Roll number, got a copy.
Yep.
So, Will, you currently find yourself up in second place. Of course, currently the highest chase driver. So, definitely looking good for you as of right now. And putting your way into the chase, not having any of those bonus points like a lot of these guys out here do. Just what is your goals pretty much to try to finish this thing off? And we're going to try to finish to look forward to move on to the next round.
I just want to be blatant, kind of just send it in there and hope for the best. Of course, I'm in second with, like 6 laps to go. I'm not really going to be given the most room out here. I'm just hoping I can get a good enough finish to move on to the next round, which would probably be about a top 5 I would need. So I'm just hoping for a good final few laps where I don't get wrecked, mostly.
And of course, without your teammates here up, unfortunately, as the 14 and the 26 are towards the back of the pack, both in the chase as well. Who do you feel like you're going to work with best up here in the front of this pack as we get down in the thick of things here?
I don't really know any of the guys up here really well. Me and the 28 drafted earlier, so maybe they'll give me the help. But I'll just take whatever I can take. And also, I highly encourage you sometime to watch my onboard of how I got through that last wreck, because I think that's iRacing top 10 worthy. Like the heavens gates opened and made a perfect path of cars wrecking around me.
All right, make sure to do that. Well, appreciate your time here, Will, and wish you the best of luck here in the rest of the race.
Thanks, man.
So that's the driver of the number 37 machine, Will Runhammer, and I guess since we're in a caution, might as well have fun with it. Take a look back at what exactly he's talking about in that wreck. As I am quite curious. I know he had a pretty good miss, and I guess I unfortunately just decided not to go through there as we get the one-to-go signal this time by, however. Quickly look back at this wreck here. So he's really through by it in the middle, right behind the leaders, and 38 gets turned. He slams on the brakes, and wow, just makes it through the middle of that. Goes down and doors the 30, it looks like a little bit. And everybody in front of him is wrecking. He just misses the 01, just misses the 95. and makes it through unscathed. So definitely, like you mentioned, pretty cool for the 37 machine, as it looks like the 4 has put it behind the wall. As he actually got disqualified because he got a black flag for some reason. And unfortunately, I guess he did not get it cleared by race officials. So I guess there was a miscommunication or something. So he actually got disqualified, and he has put it behind the wall. So unfortunately for Billy Stanley there in the 4 entry. As we are going to this backfired up here, and take a look at the race summary here quickly just to see. So 8 laps to go. So there's actually going to be 7 to go when we go back green. And of course, remember on the iRacing service, if we do see the caution flag come out and fly with 5 or less laps to go, of course it cannot come out on the white flag. But if we do have it from 5 to 2 laps to go, the race will end under the caution flag. We'll finish behind the pace car, which of course we don't want to see. But if that is the case, it will happen, and that'll just be how it is scored. There's no green checkers here on iRacing, so that will be how it is. It will finish under the caution flag if a caution comes out at 5 to 2 laps to go. So we still have 2 laps before that window opens. So we still could see another caution flag and another restart here. But we'll just have to see and look out how it goes. The 24, Wesley Johnson, not one of the chase drivers, but looking to try to get the victory here tonight. Green flag is going to wave for what might be the final time as they're back on the ladder pedal here. 7 laps to go. The 24, Wesley Johnson, trying to hold off the 28 there of Stacey Bedard. You got Will Renheimer, Diego Vasquez. Brandon Wilson has been back in the pack for much of this race. Up here at the front with a clean race car after using a faster pair, so going to be interesting to see how he goes throughout the rest of this race, trying to go for that top chase spot at least over the 37, as not many of them up here in this pack, actually. To my surprise, looks like most of them are towards the back, going that matters most, unfortunately. As Eric Reinhardt, not one of the chase drivers. So it is literally just this 37 Will Renheimer getting the final one of Brandon Wilson, cruising in his junior, Chris Edgepair, Greg McConey, Scott Leitner for Chase Shires. But Chase Shires aren't our concern right now, as we're going to get 6 laps to go for Wesley Johnson, getting pushed there by Stacey Bedard as the outside lane is gotten deformed. They're going through wide now. This cruising in his junior goes through wide, going to get into the back of, Will Renheimer, and got a huge wreck into turn number 1, and that goes most of the field once again. Cruising in his junior, he is destroyed as he doesn't have any fast pairs left. Stacey Bedard as well into the inside wall. And that was just the 8 going through wide to the middle, getting aggressive. The 37, we heard him after in the interview, not going to give him much room. He threw a block on the 8. The 8 did not lift, got on the back of him, turned him into the 28. There may have been a bit of neck involved as well. And that will bring out the caution flag now with 6 laps to go. So we'll see a 1-lap shootout here from Talladega for chase race number 1. A 1-lap shootout. It is going to be absolutely hectic. As we're going to take a look, though, and see how that crash was caused. As you see, actually, the 37 came down in front of him quite a ways before. The 8 tried to still streaking underneath them, but he just didn't have the room. He gets into the back of that 37 of Will Renheimer. At the same time, the 28 comes up the racetrack, and I'm not even sure. Okay, there was definitely contact, but unfortunately, they get together, and up the racetrack they go, and Diego Vasquez, Cruz Hernandez Jr., you got Chris Edgepair, Nicholas Wynn. I got the 95 of Brandon Dennis getting turned there by Eric Reinhardt. They managed to hang on to it, I guess. As Scott Leitner and Greg McConey, they get together down the grass, and it looks like they both managed to hang on to it down there and keep it down there. It's a great job of both of them to avoid and basically accept major damages. It looks like the 66 of Scott Leitner, he actually has some door damage on the side of that race car from that. As we're going to take a look at that once again, but this time from the eye in the sky on a helicopter cam. You see right here, 37 pretty much right up there in the thick of things. And you see he pretty much just gets pushed by the 8. The 28 comes up the racetrack just a little bit. And there's a tad bit of net code as well. Plays into that. Unfortunately, those three things all combined just cause them to get hooked together. And it's on from there. So 37 flips up into the air. And a lot of these guys do not have fast pairs like Art Piccone, Taz Kessler, Chris Etchebert, Cruz Ennis Jr. These guys, Stacey Bedard, did not have fast pairs. As you see, it looks like Jeffrey Price got a piece of that as well into the inside wall. So luckily he escapes major damage, but still a little bit of damage to that number 14 Mobile 1 Chevrolet. So actually right on board now with that 14 machine. They look at that here. You see the crash up ahead, and he's just trying to low it down. And everybody comes down the racetrack, and you see the 28, and he tries to gun it. He gets a hit in the grass, and he gets tagged right at the corner panel. Taps the inside wall. Nothing too crucial. I don't think it really hurt the car that much, so he's good to go, I believe, at least. As far as damage-wise, that's for corner panel damage, and then, honestly, left for corner panel damage as well. That looks about it. So he's basically good to go. It looks like Stacey Bedard, though, unfortunately, has put it behind the wall. And I'm going to look here at who's left at the front of the pack here for what will be a one-lap shootout. So Wesley Johnson continues to lead. Brennan Wilson right there in second. Diego Vasquez got a big piece of that, along with the 90 of Nicholas Wayne, but they're both opting to stay out here for the one-lap shootout. So that's basically going to stack up this entire field, and that could very easily cause a crash. So we're going to look out for that. 95 of Brandon Dennis got some door damage from that for the 7 to 10, but they're good to go. They're both pretty clean race cars right there. Trevor Coney with some damage, but still good enough for racing. Jeffrey Coney actually, luckily, I think Netcode threw the majority of that as he hit something pretty hard, but only a little bit of right front fender damage. Probably Hash with a little bit of damage, but still mostly solid as far as his car. Zach Borman also looking pretty good. Ryan Worley with a good race car. Scott Leitner with a good, some door damage as well, but nothing too serious. Cruz Ennis Jr., his car is very tore up. Somehow his engines are not even blown because he definitely hit hard. Front end and back end is absolutely destroyed. Terry Kondo with clean race car. Timothy Papp with some front end damage. Jeffrey Price, the corner end damage. Joey Murphy 4 laps down. And contention, of course. Jason Papp in that one with that damage from that second to last crash we saw there. Russ Nash 3 laps down. One of the chase showers. Will Runners actually stopped on pit road. So I guess he either blew an engine, ran out of fuel or something. But he's actually stopped the pit road. He's going to have to tow here, unfortunately. And that's pretty much going to knock him out of contention for the top 5 he's looking for. Chris Etchebert is driving a junk race car, unfortunately, but he's going to have to make do. It looks like he's actually going to come out and push that 37 of Will Runheimer. So, going to give him a little bit of a bump there. And unfortunately for Will, it's not going to be enough to get him to his pit stall, at least in time. I'm not quite sure. There's his pit stall right there ahead of him. So he's going to try to crawl to that. And I think he might be able to do it if he puts the clutch in, and he's slowing down about 3 miles an hour right there, as you see. Trying to make it to his pit stall. Already 2 laps down, actually, unfortunately. And it looks like he is going to make it to his pit stall. Luckily, he slowly crawls to it at a whopping 0 miles an hour at this point. Russ Nash is trying to push him, and he can't because he's inside the pit stalls. So he might actually have to get out and tow, unfortunately, for about 20 seconds because he's going to roll right inside his pit stop, but not quite enough inside his pit stall. And the worst part is that it actually might glitch for him, and he might not be able to tow and get out. That's really unfortunate for him, as that crash could like a lot of contenders for this one. But Wesley Johnson and Ryan Wilson, the top 2 with clean race cars. Wesley Johnson, not one of the chase showers, looking to try to get a victory here. And I believe his 3rd or 4th start here. Got Brandon Wilson right there in the 501. When the chase showers with a win, so he already got those 10 bonus points heading into the chase. But he's currently up here in the thick of things, looking for this race victory if he can possibly get it. That 501 entry. So things are going to get interesting for sure here, as we're going to have. I think it's going to be the 1 to go signal this time by, which would be 2 laps to go. So then we're going to go green, and we're going to get the green flag, and then at the same time get the white flag as across the start-finish line, and we're going to go with a 1-lap shootout. Unless, of course, it ends under the yellow flag. That could also be the case as well. So we're going to have to see, as Will Rama looks like he actually was able to get to his pit stall. He's out and away with a faster pair. But unfortunately, very unfortunate for him, he's actually 2 laps down after all that fiasco happened. So He's pretty much out of contention of really gaining much more spots at all. As the iRacing.com official Ford Mustang pace car lights should turn off here this time by as across the start-finish line. We'll have to wait and see if it ends under the caution or if we get that one lap shootout here, which I believe is going to be the case, but we'll just have to wait and see, I suppose. As they come through the tri-oval and across the stripe. Will it be a one-lap shootout to make things very interesting here? It looks like the pace lights will go out, and it is going to be a one-lap shootout here from Talladega for chase race number 1. It's going to be decided on a one-lap shootout, no cautions, winner takes all. Man, oh man, this is going to be interesting. We got a lot of damaged cars in this pack as well. Second row is just damaged cars. The 80 and the 90 both completely tore up. Behind them, though, you got pretty much clean race cars. The 12 has some damage, 76 a little bit of damage, the 30 with some damage. 26 a tad bit of damage. A lot of these cars do have just, a little bit of fender rubs at the 14, the 66, and some of these guys have front end and rear end damage to the 1, the 38, and the 777, but it's going to be exciting for sure. We might just see the whole field pile up. We don't know. It could still end the caution flag, too, if they wreck right on the restart, so don't put it out of the possibility technically either. But it is definitely going to be interesting to see how this goes. Unfortunately, I hear that Billy Stanley. But 24, Wesley Johnson, Brennan Wilson, the 80 Diego Vasquez, and the 90 Nicholas Wynn both tore up. However, at the 95 there, Brendan Dennis, remember, teammate with the 24s. You might just see them hook up here, or they could battle out between the two. We'll have to wait and see how that works out. Greg McConey, Jeffrey McConey, Bobby Hash, Ryan Worley, Zach Borman, Taylor Kahn, Scott Leitner, Jeffrey Price, Timothy Papp, Chris Edgeper, Jason Papp, Chris Anderson Jr., a lot of these guys in the back, though, are laps down. So we're going to wait and see how this works out. But they're going to come off turn 4 for the final time under the caution. And we're going to figure out who's going to take the victory here in this one-lap shootout from Talladega for chase race number 1. A non-chase driver is leading it with a 24 of Wesley Johnson. It's going to come down to this. Who can survive the white flag lap? No cautions at all. What's going to happen here? Restart going to be crucial. The second row will be slow. As they come through the trail, we'll get the green flag for the final time. The green and the white flag in a wave here is going to one-lap shootout from Talladega. They're on the gas. White flag here from Talladega as they're still getting up to third and fourth gear now. 24, Wesley Johnson pulls out in front as the inside lane is not going with the 80. The 90 got a wreck behind them, but it does not matter. As it looks like behind, looks like Jeffrey McConey, unfortunately, going to go around, but no cautions here on the white flag. It is going to be under the green, whether they like it or not. Here's Brandon Dennis with a run to the outside, trying to help his teammate potentially. As Brendan Wilson looking for a win as a chase driver, move him on to the next round. What is going to happen here? Down the straightaway for the final time, through turns number 3 and 4. Here comes Greg McConey getting pushed by Ryan Worley and Taylor Kahn up on the outside lane. Are they going to have big enough for ahead of his team? Does Brandon Wilson go with him? Yes, he does. But Brandon Dennis behind him, his teammate. Down off to number 4 for the final time. Through the trail, this is the finish. The chase race number 1, Taylor Kahn. 3 wide through the middle. Here they come. As Wesley Johnson gets turned, and Taylor Kahn is going to take the victory here. From chase race number 1, Wesley Johnson gets dumped in the very final second. And an unfortunate heartbreak for that 24 machine as he looked like he had it in the bag, but is going to get hooked around instead. Wesley Johnson going to get bumper hooked by Brendan Wilson, and that's going to end the race. As Taylor Kahn, a victory here from Talladega, getting pushed there, or kind of pushing, making that 3-wide move through the middle. An amazing move, which wouldn't have worked, honestly, had that bumper hook not happened on the inside lane, but still a fantastic move there by Taylor Kahn for the race victory. As we're going to take a look back at that here on the TV replay, we're going to see currently back here in about 6th place, looks like 5th place actually, and he's going to take it 3 wide, sees a gap to the middle, takes it 3 wide, extremely risky, just squeezes his way in there, makes it 3 wide through the middle, over to the front, and then the 24, Wesley Johnson gets bumper hooked And then it's just enough for the 33 to take the victory here at Talladega. One of your chase drivers, he's locked into the next round. And we're going to take another look at that here. Wesley Johnson, unfortunately, just looks like he has the victory in the bag. And the 501 of Brandon Wilson gets left for corner panel and hooks the 24 around, coming to the checkered. And around goes. He actually clips that pit road cone, which is going to give himself a black flag. So extremely unfortunate for Wesley Johnson there, as he looked like he had it in the bag, and he's going to get turned to the last second. Goes for a big spin, keeps control of the race car pretty much, or at least keeps it from hitting anything. But unfortunately, it's not going to matter, as that is going to end it here from Talladega on a one-lap shootout. Crazy things usually happen. That's exactly the case that we saw right there, as you would probably expect here from Talladega. But now, top three finishers, all chase drivers actually, is going to get a word in with your third place finisher here tonight. Greg McConey in the 12 machine. It looks like he was going to have a run there, but got taken 3 wide, and it was not able to get the job done, unfortunately. But we're going to bring in the Rocka's booth now, if we can. Greg McConey got a cap.
Shit, you know what?
McConey got a copy.
Yeah, I got you loud and clear. You hear me?
Yes, sir. Greg McConey, one of the chase drivers, of course, needed a really good race here at Talladega, and he got just that, finishing off in third place. Obviously, intention there for the win at the last second. Unfortunately for you, I do not have the head of steam you needed to get the job done, but still a good podium finish and an extremely good point save for you in that 12 machine. Still at the race, start to finish, we saw a long green flag run there, green flag pit stops come into play there, and we saw a one-lap shootout ended off at the end. Absolutely a crazy race here at Talladega. We'll just talk about how you're able to get home to a third-place finish.
Well, I got to thank a lot of the teammates for that. Anthony, Taz, Jeff, and Zach. They were running all with us most of that race, and we were able to just kind of hang in the back for a good chunk of it. Eventually, made our way up front, and sadly, we got caught up at the end on the high side, but had enough left in the car to make that final finish.
Yeah, and of course, your team, the biggest team out of any of them here in the iRacing series with you, your brother in the 76, you got the 10, the 01, the 54, and I don't think I left anybody out there, but pretty much, a huge team, of course, which always is extremely helpful for Super Speedway races and Super Speedway leagues and series, as we saw much of this race. Of course, you guys able to draft together and try to work together when you could. And just talk us through that green flag pit stop, of course, with the team strategy of to when to pit, and of course with the caution flag coming out in the middle of that thing, it kind of shook everything up. Just talk about that long green flag run, if you guys thought it was going to go green the rest of the way, or what your plan was towards the end of the race there.
We actually knew, we figured there'd be another caution. We got lucky when it came out. Actually, I got a black flag for speeding on the pit road at that. I was about 5 miles an hour over, but I was able to serve my penalty there under yellow, thankfully. But we knew once we started getting single file like that and everybody started spreading out, we knew we were going to run it till the end of our fuel run. And by that point, other people would have already made their pits. And we were hoping that there'd be a caution with that, and we got lucky.
Alrighty here, Greg. Well, any shout-outs, thank yous, and sponsors you want to give here after your third place finish?
I got to thank you guys at LCTV, Jason, DCH Crane, Express Auto Salon, Bottled Up, everybody, Taz Racing Custom, Smoky Mountain. You guys are put on a great show for us. We thank you every night for having us here, and we look forward to it week in, week out.
I appreciate that, Greg. And again, congratulations on your third place finish. We'll see you here next week for Chase Race number 2.
Sounds good. Can't wait.
All right, have a good one.
You too, man.
That was driver of the number 12 machine, Greg McConey, finished it off in third place. Now the driver of the 501 of Brandon Wilson, coming home in P2 here tonight. Brandon Wilson got a copy. Brandon Wilson got a copy.
Yep, I got you.
So, Brandon, you finished it off. Runner-up, unfortunately, came up just short of victory here tonight, but definitely an extremely good point stay for you. You were actually towards the back of the pack there for much of the race, trying to avoid the carnage and keep your car clean. I think you got a little bit of a piece of that first crash. You used a fast spare there towards the end and had a clean race car for the one-lap shootout where we saw of course, the unfortunate crashing between you and the 24 getting hooked together there, coming to the checkered flag. But stuck with the race as a whole, the strategy, of course, is stay towards the back and try to avoid getting involved in the wrecks with only that one fast spare here tonight, and talk about what your plan was the whole race long and what your plan was there in that one lap shootout to try to get the job done.
Yeah, man. It, that last part of that race was, I felt bad about it because, I mean, I didn't mean to wreck the guy, but he moved up a little bit, and then I seen the guys breaking in the middle there, and I kind of moved down a little bit more because I wanted to give them some room, but he just come back down across a bumper, and it's so easy to bumper hook, uh, these cars. So, but most of the night, my team and I decided to ride in the back here and stay out all the trouble. And I kind of got hit on the caution laps there a couple times, and then the last little wreck there, I was fortunate to get around. So all in all, it was a pretty good night for us, and look forward to the next race.
It definitely being in the chase. There are only 4 races in the chase, so not much time for you, for all you to be on your best, game and trying to get every position you possibly can for points wise, making the next round and whatnot. And of course, being a part of a 4-car team, one of the bigger teams in the series, it's definitely, I'm sure, very helpful for you. And of course, even though you're all in the chase, I'm sure it's definitely very helpful for you to be able to work with your teammates throughout the race at a plate track. Let's talk about, we saw it. I don't think you were up with your teammates most of the race. Let's talk about some of the team strategy, what you guys were kind of discussing there throughout the race.
Well, three of the guys there decided they were going to run up front there a little bit, which I just was could see it coming. I knew it was going to happen, so I just kind of stayed in the back, just stick with the plan, riding it out. I think they were trying to grab a couple of points for leading some laps and whatnot, and so yeah, I hate they got into a wreck too. I mean, it would have worked out for us, but we're all for being that we're locked in. It does help. It was pretty impressive to see that long green flag run there. I was about to get lapped, so I was kind of glad that caution came out. But yeah, it's pretty exciting though.
Already appreciate your time here, Brendan. Any special shout outs, thank yous, and sponsors you want to thank here after your second place finish here tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Jason done a good job getting this lead together. Thank DCH Crane and Express Auto Salon for coming on with it this year. Hopefully they'll be back next. But definitely enjoy the broadcast, man.
I appreciate it there, Brendan. And again, congratulations on your second place finish here tonight, and we'll see you here next week.
Thanks, man. We'll see you.
That's driver of the number 501 machine, Brandon Wilson, finishing off in second place here tonight, leading 0 laps, but having good points to win your chase drivers. But now the man who made the move of the race for sure for the race win here tonight, Taylor Khan, got a copy.
Yes, sir.
So Taylor, after an extremely bold and risky move, especially being one of the chase drivers there in the trial fall, but one that definitely paid off for you, a very good move through the middle, kind of just squeeze your way up through there, and luckily for you at least, of course the insulating guys had some contact and they hooked each other around, and you just kind of drove right through the middle there and drove yourself up through victory and locked yourself in the next round here of the chase. Let's talk about that amazing move there, mostly for the race win and the race as a whole, of course, and how you get the job done.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Lucas. Just perfect timing, I guess. 50% timing, 50% luck, I suppose. They wrecked on the bottom, and that was the luck.
Yeah, it was definitely, it looked like it was going to be pretty much the 24 for the victory, and then the 12 was trying to get a run up there in the top, but then, I don't know, you came through the middle, and like, oh, well, it's going to get close, but it's not going to wait, and next thing you know, the 24 gets hooked, and you're able to just drive right through it all, and of course, as you mentioned, a little bit of luck, but definitely a great move in the middle there, and I thought for sure somebody's going to come down on you and you're all going to wreck, but everybody did a great job driving there and giving each other room coming to the finish, and how do you feel about knocking yourself in the next round of the chase?
Feeling great. Gives me a little more ease going into the next one. Maybe go out and try to get another one and maybe lock up the championship early.
Already. Of course, throughout the race, we saw that one lap shootout end. It was the craziest part, of course. And you were sitting back in sixth place and made yourself the victor here tonight. But throughout the race, we saw that crash on lap 2, unfortunately, really early on in the race. It took a lot of contenders and a lot of guys had to use their faster pairs. But then we had that 35 or so lap run where we even saw green flag pit stops for the first time in quite a while. Talk about that run. That whole run, the green flag pit stops and the caution coming out during the middle of that. Just talk about that whole run there. What your strategy was trying to set yourself up for the end of the race.
Well, yeah, I positioned myself really early on there in that run up towards the front of the pack and was able to stay there up towards the front of the pack. Actually made that green flag stop and throughout that caution come out second. And, I knew at that point I was sitting pretty. Unfortunately, I did get up in one of those in-run crashes there and did have to burn my faster pair. But that very last big crash, I stayed out of it. I woed up, stayed out of it, kept my car clean, and that's what really set me up for the run, I suppose. Clean car.
Yeah, definitely, certainly. And anyway, any shout outs and thank yous you want to give here that makes their car return on the racetrack?
Yeah, just a big shout out to the league sponsors, DCH Crane, Express Auto Salon, all the guys that make it go around. I think Taz Racing Customs, just all the guys who make our leagues go around. Jason Pat, Brandon Wilson, just the guys who really do put the league on and make it go around. Just big shout out to those guys.
All right, everybody. Well, again, congratulations on the win here, Taylor, and we'll see you here next week for a race you don't have to worry about too much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
As race winner here tonight, Taylor Khan in the number 33 machine, and that'll do it for every interviews here tonight. Look at the results here, top to bottom. Taylor Khan with the victory here tonight. Winner Chase Showers, second place. Vernon Wilson with a controversial second place finish, but he's going to come off runner-up. For McConey right there in third. So top 3 drivers all Chase Showers. Vernon Dennis going to be the first non-Chase Shower right there after his teammate unfortunately got turned. He's going to finish it off in fourth. Ryan Willie with solid fifth place finish. Eric Reinhardt right there in sixth. Bobby Hash in seventh. Zach Borman in eighth. Wesley Johnson. Of course, it looks like his black flags did get cleared, or at least he didn't get one. So even though the heartbreak of getting turned there, and I'm sure he's definitely pretty heated about that, no fault there for that. But a solid ninth place finish, nevertheless, for the 24 machine, and then 14th place Jeffrey Price from the Chase Showers as well, right at your top 10. 11th place here tonight, Timothy Pop. 12th place Scott Later in the number 66. 13th place in the 8 machine is Cruising Ace Jr. Chris Hutchbear finishing off in 14th. Jason Pop 15th. Nicholas Wayne 16th, last car on a lead lap, getting turned there on the last lap. 17th place will be Jeffrey McConey. Diego Vasquez finishes 18th, 1 lap down. 2 laps down with Ronald after unfortunately getting taken out there in that second to last crash. He's going to finish it off in 19th. Anthony Alfredo in the 354 going to finish it in 20th in his first career start. Norris Nash finishes in 21st when they Chase Showers as well. Nolan Murphy is also his first career start. He's going to finish 22nd, 4 laps down. Stacey Bedard 6 laps down in 28th. He's going to finish 23rd. 24th, Taz Kessler. 25th, Billy Stanley. And 26th, Roy Geeson ends it off 50 laps down tonight from Talladega. Appreciate everybody watching. Make sure you check us out this Monday night for the very first race of Season 1 of the Ashes Motorsports Cup Series. So definitely the biggest race of that. Daytona. Everybody looking forward to the new season after running the Xfinity cars last season, so happy to have them back on board Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you check us out then. And then, of course, Tuesday night will be the next race from Bristol for the VSR Stock Car Championship for race number 6. And then, of course, next week here on the iRacing Series, we're back for chase race number 2. As you see Jeff McConey there, thank you for posting that, as I'm not quite sure who got eliminated and who did not. So there you go, the 7, the 37, the 6, and the 01 most likely are eliminated, not officially. So we appreciate everybody watching here tonight. Had a pretty good crowd, so I always love to see those big crowds and a lot of chat messages. It's always fun to see. Appreciate everybody taking your time to stay with us here tonight, lovely Friday night. But we'll catch you here Monday night for the Ashes Motorsport Cup Series. This is LCTV. Have a good night.